What up, people? It's your boy Iron Letter, and we're here with episode 2 of Den of Vowels.
Yeah. It's your boy TJ.
Yeah, so now that we're on to episode 2, we're gonna go into a couple, interesting things. But first, from last time when we had our podcast, we didn't really give much information about ourselves. So, y'all, I think it's better that on this episode we give you a little taste of who we are. So, I'm gonna start with my man.
Hello world, it's your boy TJ. I'm a little entrepreneur. I own a few businesses that I'm proud of. Small, but have a big impact in my community and people around me. I make my own hair oils, my own beauty products, my own body products. I have my own little cater company on the side, ranging from Japanese cuisine to Jamaican. I also do podcasts, as you can tell, and I also do massage therapy. Bring back to my boy here.
Okay, well, as you know, my name is Iron Letter. You can follow me on Instagram at Iron Letter. A little bit about me. I also go by the name of Othello. I'm a singer-songwriter. I write short stories, short erotic stories. I'm involved in the culinary field, and mostly I do this podcast with my boy here. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. And as we go along, you'll get to know more and more about us. Especially when we start doing video, you'll start to get a little more taste of who we are. So you want to head off for the first topic that we're going to talk about today?
Yes, R&B music. What happened to you? I remember listening to R&B music back in the 90s, and it was so soulful. It had a meaning, it had passion. It made you move in a certain way. Nowadays, R&B, it's all about, like last topic, strippers, or throwing up money, or just being a dirtbag. I don't know what happened with R&B nowadays, but to me, it's not the same.
Yeah, like when I was younger and growing up in the 90s and even in the 80s with R&B music, it was all about, a message. It had something to say. Like, whether it being like it's like telling a female or telling your girl that, she's got nothing to worry about. You gonna take care of her or be there for her. It really bothers me because you have like songs like "Meet me at the altar in your white dress. We ain't like no younger, we might as well do it. Feeling you all the while, girl, I must confess."
This guy really had to do this song.
Yeah, I had to do it. We're talking about R&B, and I said I was an R&B singer, so we're gonna talk about it like that. But the problem is now is that there is no more R&B. There was when R&B started to fade out, you went into neo soul. You had like two different categories of R&B and neo soul. So you had like artists like Jill Scott, who was considered R&B, but then once the image aspect of R&B came out, they started becoming into neo. They started putting them into categories of neo soul and soul music, because you had like Music Soul Child,
Yes.
who was a big R&B artist.
Yes.
But he had that combination of being in both categories. He was a neo soul artist, but he was on that end piece of R&B, and he had that way of bringing people to that place. So, with that being said, like after the 90s, like honestly, I believe R&B music died in 1999. R&B died.
Why you say that?
Because after 99, you had the heydays. You had the high notes of Drew Hill. You had the high notes of Total. You had the high notes of Toni Braxton and Whitney Houston and all those artists. You had their high notes. And in 2000, it's just like everything seemed to like start to slowly whittle down, start to slowly go down, especially when the introduction of pop music.
Okay.
Because with the introduction of pop, it wasn't like pop was always around.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's not lie about it. Pop was always around when you had artists like Madonna, which I will talk about later. But when you had artists like Madonna and Seal and whatnot, Like you had pop music was there,
Okay.
but it wasn't popular, right? It was there, but it wasn't as popular when it came to R&B. Then when R&B music changed, you had the when you had the bands like Instinct, Backstreet
Boys, yeah.
coming really out to the forefront, it started to kill off a lot of the things that you thought were R&B because they started to get into the categories of rhythm and blues, right?
Okay.
And then when you had artists like Rihanna and Ashanti.
So you're trying to say pop killed R&B?
Yeah, pop killed R&B because the thing about R&B was not like people didn't care about image; they cared about what you had to say. They cared about how your music made them feel, right? The industry was more about we felt more in tune with the music, right? Because we listened to it off the radio. We weren't really caring about the videos.
Yeah.
Then when videos became popular in the early 2000s, people started to actually visualize their artists.
Yes.
Right? We started to see their artists. And who was really, like, especially with the male artists, who really was paying attention to the male artists? Females. And who was really paying attention to the female artists? Guys. Mm-hmm. So when we saw, like, when we were younger, when we saw Total, we didn't really see them much. But then when they came out and they were doing their thing, we didn't care. It was just, it was Total.
It's all about the voice.
Yeah, it was all about the voice. And I'll be honest, when I was younger and I saw Total, I was like, dang. Like, especially, okay, remember Escape?
Yes.
They were not good looking girls.
Oh my god.
They were not. People can get mad at me, whatever, I don't care. They weren't the best looking girls. But they could sing. They had voices. They could make you feel something. Total, they had one girl in the group.
Okay.
One girl that was like, she needs it.
But if pop killed R&B, why is Michael Jackson considered the king of pop?
Because Michael Jackson is not an R&B artist. Michael Jackson was a pop artist.
Okay.
If you listen to his music, he was not R&B. He was a little bit R&B, a little bit rock.
Yes.
A little bit funk. He was a pop
He's
artist.
a hybrid.
Yeah, he was a hybrid artist. He was never an R&B artist. Listen to all of his music. He's the king of pop. He was never the king of R&B.
I'll say Billie Jean's kind of R&B-ish.
That's what I'm saying. Billie Jean had a little bit of a, because he had swag. He has swag. When he did Billie Jean and you heard the beat start off and you saw the video and we saw him dancing.
Yes.
The man had swag. He made girls go, oh my god! Made guys cry.
Yeah,
he made guys cry.
Yeah.
The man had stuff. When he sang songs like Dirty Diana, that was crazy. The man was crazy. And that's the reason why he was the king. That's why he's the quote unquote king of pop. Mm-hmm. But then you had him, he was in categories of pop music like Elton John, like Madonna, like the Eagles. He was in those kind of categories. He could never be considered an R&B artist, but a lot of R&B artists wanted to be like him.
Yeah.
If you look at one of the bigger R&B artists, Usher, he copied his entire style,
Dance moves.
his dance moves and everything off of Michael. You look, and when you see that with R&B, it was a trickle down effect from everybody. Drew Hill was a ripoff of Jodeci.
Yes, I can 100% agree with that one.
They were completely Jodeci. Like when I told people like I sing like I sing like Drew Hill. It's like, oh, so you like Jodeci? I'm like, yeah, I love Jodeci because they're the same thing. Yeah. Right? When Jodeci died off, Drew Hill became the big thing. But then even with the end of Jodeci, you had Casey and JoJo, who were basically Jodeci.
Yes.
So with R&B after the 90s, it started to die off because people were so busy paying attention to the physical appeal of their artists because the mainstream changed.
Yes.
The whole industry did a total 180, and it became about the looks, not about what they can say, not what they can do.
It wasn't about the content anymore.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, I know a lot of people love Rihanna. Nope, I'm not one of them.
Why don't you like Rihanna?
Because she's a one-note wonder. When Rihanna first came out, all she did was one note. Like, I'm sorry. Hey, Mr. DJ, come on the replay. Mr. DJ, won't you turn the music? There's nothing. She had no substance. The first time she kind of did something was when she did Umbrella.
Okay.
Kind of.
Seems
Was when
like
she
about
did Umbrella.
ranges and stuff. Like,
Yeah, there was no range to her music. There was no range to her stuff.
so you say she's more popular because of her look, not her
Yeah.
talent?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know, like I said, people aren't gonna like it, but it's true. I believe that Rihanna is popular because of how she looks. If Rihanna looked like, who could I say?
Britney Spears?
Yeah, if Rihanna looked like Britney Spears, I don't think so. And even Britney was a one-note wonder too. What? Okay, you know what? Britney Spears is the luckiest person ever.
Why you say
Why?
that?
Timing. If Christina Aguilera came out before Britney Spears, we would not be talking about Britney Spears.
I wasn't really into pop music, so you may have a point there.
Cause look, a lot, like even with Genie in a Bottle. Genie in a Bottle was a hit song.
Yes.
Right? But Britney Spears had her hit album before Christina Aguilera. Christina Aguilera was just about timing. If Christina came out before Britney, Christina would have that high status. But Britney just came out before Christina.
But right now, people gravitate towards Christina more than Britney, though.
Well, yeah.
Christina's on TV. She's on what? The Voice?
Yeah, I think she's on The Voice.
She's on The Voice. She's a judge and all stuff. But Britney's not doing anything.
No, Britney's not doing anything because she had that nervous breakdown, and then, what really killed Britney is her image. She killed herself with her image. Because when Britney came out, she had the look, the physical look that they wanted.
The girl next door.
Yeah, she had that sex appeal, that look. Then when she had her nervous breakdown and shaved off her head, she just disappeared. Then Britney came back and she was kind of trying to do the look when she had the whole "Slave for You." Yeah. But then when she did the MTV Music Awards and then she came out and everybody's just like, oh.
I forgot all about that too.
Because she had the snake on her shoulder, but the body was just not down there.
Yeah.
And after that, her career just went around.
Jeez. But what do you consider to be the king or the queen of R&B from the 90s era to, let's say, 2000 era?
Oh, man. Queen of R&B. I say Mary J. Blige.
Yes.
I say Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige was that person that was like, she changed the game. She really changed the game of R&B from the 90s into 2000s, into the early 2000s. She really changed the game. And especially when she was doing songs with hip hop artists, she brought a whole new appeal to R&B. But just like that, she also fucked up. She also messed up because there's a time and a place that the reason why a lot of our old school R&B artists are still timeless is because they knew they had their time. When the time changed, they just stopped. But they still had those hits. They didn't continue on until they started to flop out. They kept themselves going until they had those hits.
Yes.
And then they just stopped. Then they came back, do a little, hey, what's up? We're still here, like B2K is doing right now, which we all know the reason why B2K is doing their tour, because they ain't got no money. So they're doing their little tour right now. Because look, the rest of the guys, they ain't doing nothing. The only one that was doing anything was Omarion.
The rest are on Love and Hip Hop or ghostwriting and stuff.
Yeah, so they had nothing. So they're like, yo, Omarion had no money, the rest of them had no money. Yo, we're doing our tour, but they're not doing no new songs. They're doing their old stuff. Oh. They're doing their old stuff, which is smart.
Yeah, because bangers.
They're smart. They're doing their old bangers, and it's just like we had the ice cream tour where you had New Edition and Joe and who else was on there? It was way back in the day, but it's and Boyz II Men were on it too. They're smart. They're coming. They have all these hit albums, all these hit songs.
Yeah.
They could put on a whole concert with just bangers from their hits. And it's back even with New Edition. You have New Edition and you have Belle Biv DeVoe. So you have an entire show right there with just them alone. So they're smart. That's what you need to do. Come out, do a 6-month tour, do your hits,
make a little money.
Yeah, get your black folk to come out because they're the ones that support you.
True.
The black folk will come out and support you, and then you can go off and just chill out for a while.
Do it again in the next 5 years.
Yeah, come back in another 5 years if y'all can still sing. Come back and do it again. But you got people like Mary J. Blige decided to try and do a new thing when it's 2018, it's 2019 now. Trying to do songs, trying to do what the young cats are doing right now. It's like Mary J. Blige is doing the R&B what Madonna did to pop music. Madonna needed to stop long time ago. Finally, she's gotten to the point of understanding that you can stop now. We don't need anything from you.
Some people still want to be in the limelight though. Like they want to be with the new times and be hip, and try to make new wave stuff, but they're still in their old ways, which they shouldn't do, especially in Mary J. Blige category. Her catalog alone, you don't need to do anything new.
Exactly. Her library is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Her library is ridiculous. She doesn't need to do anything new. Just like Janet Jackson. But even Janet can do something new because she's a pop artist. She's not an R&B artist. So she can do something new depending on who she's working with. Depending on what she wants to do.
It's kind of like Sean Paul. Right now he's doing like pop/EDM music, and he's considered a reggae artist or dancehall if you want to be more technical. Dancehall. He's doing a little trap music here and there as a future, but for him, I think it's more acceptable because he wasn't really out there singing or whatever.
Yeah.
He just had like a good hook or a good outro, and I think that'll be good for like especially for EDM type of music, because his voice is different.
Yeah. And that with that being said, like I'm not saying that nobody can go on and do something.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not saying that. Like if you're doing a feature on somebody's track, or you're trying to do a thing that if it makes sense for what you're trying to do, but make sure it's within your wheelhouse and that you can actually pull it off. Like don't try to pull off something that is just gonna come out and everybody's gonna be like, "What the heck was that?" Like. Yeah, I heard a song recently, "Red Light," by Eddie Murphy and Snoop Lion.
Yeah.
Yes, I know it's Snoop Dogg, but he called himself Snoop Lion, so let's get over it. But yeah, he had a song with Eddie Murphy and Snoop Lion called "Red Light." That is a banger.
Yeah.
That song is a banger. The beat is wicked. The hook makes sense, and Eddie Murphy's just doing his thing. And people want to say, "Oh, Eddie Murphy, he's not a singer." Yo, Eddie Murphy's been singing for years.
Party All the Time.
Yeah, Party All the Time is his joint.
It's a banger. Like
to
this day, I still listen to that track.
I still miss that track. I love that track. So Eddie Murphy, and then he also did the which movie was it again with Beyonce? He did a movie with Beyonce and Jennifer Hudson. I can't remember the name of it. If you guys remember, just leave it in the comments below so we know, so I can remember what it is. But yeah, he did a movie with Jennifer Hudson and Beyonce, and he's singing in that movie. The man can sing, and like he didn't fake any of it. He sang in that movie. So the man has talent.
Yeah.
So he can do this kind of stuff. And the fact that he's not in the limelight that much, like as an R&B artist, he can mess around and do different things, just like Jamie Foxx.
Yes, I'm about to say that, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, he can mess around and do different things because Jamie Foxx doesn't just sing. He produces his own stuff.
Yeah.
He makes his own beats. He makes his own tracks. So the man can do his own thing, and I'll mess with Jamie Foxx till thy kingdom come. He can keep doing his thing. I will mess with him. And speaking about NSYNC, I will mess with Justin Timberlake to the day I die. The man, he is unofficially black. That is unofficially black. Cause look, he is a pop artist who transitioned into R&B, who then can transition between pop and R&B.
Do you think it was more easy for him to do that because he was dating Janet Jackson at the time, or he had the link with Pharrell, Timberland, and Jermaine Dupri?
I think because he had the link with I think what really put him over, that people were like, yo, I'll mess with this guy, Timberland.
Yeah.
Timberland certified him. He could mess with anybody he wants because Timberland certified him. Especially on the one track when he punked Britney Spears.
Cry Me River.
Yes! That track...
That beat's hard, though.
The beat was hard. Timberland certified him. I think that was the first song that he came out with.
Yeah, with
Cry Me River. Yo, that track alone was just like, I'm gonna mess with Justin Timberlake. Screw anything that anybody says. You're a black man. The fact that you're like, but what made it jokes when you're watching the video, it's like, yeah, this is hard. This is deep. But you also look like a freaking stalker right now because you're creeping in this girl's house. This is creepy. Well, yo, I rate him because the man can really do some stuff. Okay, now we're gonna have, like, I've been skirting. Okay, people, I've been kind of skirting around this. I've been really skirting around this, but we gotta talk about this. Because we're talking about R&B.
Alright.
So we gotta talk about this. R. Kelly.
Mr. Robert.
Yep. We gotta touch on Mr.